I've told you a little bit about these AgGag laws, laws that make it illegal to film or otherwise photograph or report on what the conditions are in large agricultural facilities. And these can include places where chickens are being raised, slaughterhouses, etc. And Utah is one of the 7 states that has enacted such laws. And there are now, this is just an insane situation, 4 people who are being prosecuted under the AgGag laws in Utah for taking some pictures of of a huge factory farm, a factory farm that has historic allegations of human trafficking. They are being prosecuted rather than the farm itself. This is Circle 4 Farms. This is one of these mega farms, right? It sprawls something like 90 square miles in southwestern Utah. They have about 600,000 hogs at a time. They're packed by the thousands into these long warehouses. And the company was under scrutiny earlier last month because of a deadly pig virus. And then last year, it was part of a controversial financial deal in which they were taken over by a Chinese company. This was one of the biggest takeovers of a U.S. company by a Chinese company in the agricultural industry, so to speak. Some employees were seen, when people drove by, some employees were seen moving, pushing around the hogs in ways that didn't make a lot of sense. The reporters who drove by stopped on the road, mind you, on a public road, and started taking pictures. When employees saw photographs being taken, they followed the vehicles, stopped them, and demanded that they turn over all of their photos. And the police were eventually called. They were detained for 5 hours by the farm, allegedly. Eventually, after refusing to turn over their photographs or allowing the police to search their cars, they were given 2 citations. One for agricultural operation interference, which is basically violating the AgGag law, and another for criminal trespass. Bear in mind that they took these photographs from a road. This is the second time that an AgGag law has been enforced nationally. And I am sickened by this, Lewis, because we should be paying attention to companies like this that are allegedly involved in human trafficking, that may be treating animals in inhumane ways. We should be exposing them. Instead, we've criminalized journalism and the photographing of places from public roads.
I think there are some interesting parallels between these huge agriculture companies and companies like the big banks. And the term too big to fail was used for the banks. And the banks seem to be immune to a lot of the crimes they commit. And in this case, perhaps these companies are just too big to fail too. I mean, think about the sheer amount of meat that they are providing to the country. And if, let's say, 4 or 5 of them were to be shut down, I think it would have a devastating impact on restaurants, on supermarkets.
Yeah, I mean, I'm no big advocate of Mormon food storage and prepping for years of interrupted food supply. But there's no denying that the food supply in this country is not, it's only a few days to a week ahead of demand, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And if there were to be a significant interruption, it would significantly alter people's diets, and it would completely upend the supply chain for so many restaurants and homes. However, that's not a good reason to let crimes go unpunished or even to criminalize the investigation of those crimes.
That is true. And but you know, we've let it get this out of control.
Yeah.
We've let these companies get too big and too powerful and have too much control. And this is where we're at now.
Follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/dpakman.